Hi everyone, I'm Teacher Cheryl and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at a very simple strategy that you can use for your summary writing in the English exam. So let's just jump right into it. I call this strategy the AMISA strategy. The A in AMISA stands for Analyze the Question, M stands for Mark out the paragraphs, I stands for Identify content points, S stands for Summarize the points, and the final A stands for accuracy, which means to check for accuracy. Seems simple enough, doesn't it? Let's dive a little bit deeper in each of these steps. So the first step is to analyze the question. This is a very important step because we need to know what the question is asking for. So take a look at this example. Using your own words as far as possible, summarize the appearance and behavior of penguins on land and in the water as outlined in the passage. Use only information from paragraphs 4 to 6. And the helping words given are, when penguins are on land, they are often seen to... This is taken from the 2020 O-Level exam paper. I'm not sure if you've noticed yet, but there are two parts to this question. The first thing you need to summarize is the appearance of the penguins. And the second part is the behavior of the penguins as well. So now that we've analyzed the question very briefly, let's go on to step 2. So step 2 is where we have to mark out the paragraphs that we need to get the content points from. This is a very important step again because there have been times when students pick out content points from the wrong paragraph. And I don't blame them, because during the exams it's very stressful. And sometimes mistakes do happen. So that's why I say that this is a very important step because it can help to keep you on track. So let's look at this question. We should only get information from paragraphs 4 to 6. This is an example of the question paper and I'm just going to show you what I would do. I would take just a few seconds to mark out the paragraphs that I need to summarize the content points from. What I would do is I would circle the 3 paragraphs, paragraphs 4, 5, and 6. This is so that when I'm analyzing the content points, I will only focus on these 3 paragraphs. Let's move on to step 3. So in step 3, we have to identify the content points. In this video, we are only going to focus on paragraph 4. So as you can see on my screen, I will read paragraph 4 for you. People are generally familiar with penguins from their appearance and posture on land. Out of the water, they are usually awkward-looking birds. They seem to have long bodies on short legs, and their shoulders, or scapulae, are set low on their bodies. The bones of their wings are astonishingly flat and thin, giving them the profile of a boomerang. A penguin's natural stance is with bent knees and an S-shaped neck. When they squat like this, they become almost round, which helps with heat conservation. But they can change their shape to a remarkable degree. So remember in the question, there are 2 things we need to identify, which is the appearance of the penguins as well as their behavior on land and in water. So what I want you to do right now is to pause the video and try to identify the content points from this paragraph. Then share with me in the comments box below how many content points did you manage to find from this paragraph. Let's see if you have identified the same content points as I have. Starting with the first sentence, people are generally familiar with penguins from their appearance and posture on land. Now this is definitely not a content point because it's just a general statement. It doesn't actually tell us the appearance or the actual behavior of these penguins. Going on to the second sentence, out of the water they are usually awkward-looking birds. So here I would pick out my very first content point, awkward-looking birds, because this tells us the appearance of these penguins. And if you notice, the following sentence actually gives us more information about how these birds look awkward. Long bodies on short legs and their shoulders are set low on their bodies. So I would actually consider this one content point because the 2 sentences describe how the penguins look very awkward. Let's continue on to the next sentence. The bones of their wings are astonishingly flat and thin, giving them the profile of a boomerang. So once more, this describes the appearance of the penguin, and I'm going to consider this content point 2. The next sentence, a penguin's natural stance is with bent knees and an S-shaped neck. So again, this describes the appearance, so I'm going to highlight bent knees and an S-shaped neck. If we read further on, it says, when they squat like this. So what does this actually refer to? So think about it, when we squat, our knees are bent, right? We have to bend our knees to squat. We cannot be standing up and squatting at the same time. And also when we squat, we kind of bend over a little bit. So that kind of links to the S-shaped neck as well. So when this happens, when they squat with their bent knees and their S-shaped neck, what happens is they become almost round. So I'm going to consider all these parts as content point 3. And the very last part of the sentence, which helps with heat conservation, but they can change their shape to a remarkable degree, that doesn't actually tell us about their appearance or their behavior. So I'm not going to take that as part of a content point. Okay, so now that we've identified all the content points in this particular paragraph, let's go on to the next step, which is to summarize the points. So remember in content point 1, they were talking about how the birds look awkward, and they described their long bodies on short legs, the shoulders are set low on their bodies. And this part of the paragraph has 22 words. So before I continue, remember there are many ways to summarize a particular sentence, and I'm just going to go through more of the basics today. So let's start with awkward looking birds. So awkward looking birds, I can actually rephrase that to they look awkward. And the second part about the long bodies and their shoulders, I could probably say something like with long bodies, short legs and low shoulders. Going back to the helping words that are given together with the question, we have to start our summary with, when penguins are on land, they are often seen to, I'm going to add on to this sentence, look awkward with long bodies, short legs and low shoulders. So I have kind of summarized this from 22 words to 10 words. Let's move on to content point 2. What I'd like you to do now is to pause the video and try to summarize this content point. Then share your answers with me in the comment box below. So let me show you how I have summarized this content point. The first thing that I have picked out is the bones of their wings. So I'm not going to take the bones of their wings, I'm just going to summarize this to their wings. Because when we say that the bones of their wings are flat and thin, we are actually describing the wings themselves. And one more thing, flat and thin. Well, I guess flat already gives me the idea that the wings are very thin, so I'm just going to use the word flat here. And the last part, giving them the profile of a boomerang, I'm just going to say that the wings look like boomerangs. So I'm going to add on to what I have already summarized previously. When penguins are on land, they are often seen to look awkward with long bodies, short legs, and low shoulders. Now I'm adding on, their wings are flat and look like boomerangs. So for this content point, I have summarized it to 8 words. Let's try content point 3. Once again, pause this video and try to summarize the content point and share your answers in the comment box below. Now it's my turn to share my answer with you. So remember I mentioned previously that the word this here refers to the bent knees and an S-shaped neck. And all this refers to how the penguin squats. So I'm just going to use the word squat because like I said before, to squat you need to bend your knees. The next part is become almost round. So I don't really need the almost there, I'm just going to take become round. So once more, I'm going to add on to what I have so far. So when penguins are on land, they're often seen to look awkward with long bodies, short legs, and low shoulders. Their wings are flat and look like boomerangs. And now I'm going to add on, they become round when they squat. So this is 6 words. So I've paraphrased the content points into only 6 words. So like I said before, there are many different ways to summarize a particular sentence or a content point. Feel free to share your version of your summary in the comments box below. Let's move on to step 5. So in step 5, we have to check for accuracy. How do we do this? The first thing we need to look out for is the meaning of our content point. No matter how we have summarized, we have to ensure that the meaning of our paraphrase sentence remains the same as the original content point. The second thing we have to do, of course, is to check for spelling, grammar, and punctuation. So once you have done that, then you're all set with your summary. So this is the AMISA strategy that you can use to apply whenever you're doing summary writing. Step 1, analyze the question. Step 2, mark out the paragraphs. Step 3, identify the content points. Step 4, summarize the points. And step 5, check for accuracy. What's next? I'd like you to apply AMISA to the rest of the paragraphs. So notice that I've only worked on paragraph 4 for this lesson, so try to summarize paragraphs 5 and 6 as well. And as always, share your answers with me in the comments box below. Finally, keep practicing. Keep using this AMISA strategy to any piece of summary writing that you do. I hope you have found this video useful. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Also, feel free to share this video with any of your friends or family whom you think might find it useful as well. See you in the next one. Bye!